Hello there and welcome to my channel. Today I thought we'd take a look at a Nikon accessory that's been around for a good many years now, and it is the Nikon DSLR3, which is the wireless remote control unit. They're available on Amazon at the moment. In the UK they cost just under £10, so they're pretty cheap. I've been using this this model now for about 20 years. I've used it on all my Nikon DSLRs, and I think they're quite excellent. There is Nikon have published a web page of cameras that it is compatible with, and I will add a link in the comments below to that page, so if you are interested in it, you can first of all check that it's compatible with your particular camera. Myself, I've used this particular model. I've used it with the Nikon D70, the D70S, the D200, the D300, the D600, and I'm now currently using it with the D7500. And in all those years, I've never had an issue with it, and I've probably only changed battery a couple of times. So yeah, I think it's quite an excellent little piece of kit. It has a range of 5 meters. It works on infrared, so it's line of sight. You click the button on it, pointing towards your camera, or rather pointing towards the infrared sensor on your camera, and it will fire the shot. It's ideal for any situation where you don't really want to be handling your camera, or where camera shake is an issue for you. Particularly good for landscape macro work. I use it a lot in portrait photography, but yeah, but anywhere where camera shake is an issue, this is one way of doing it. Now, of course, there are alternatives to using this thing. For instance, there is, if I pull up my camera here, we still have the old-fashioned on the dial. So this is, as I said, this is 7500, but most Nikon cameras will still have it. We've got the old-fashioned dial here that will allow you to select the timer shot. That still exists, so there's an alternative there. Plus, you've got a Nikon also do a cabled shutter release, and this is their one, which is the MC DC2. It comes with only about 2 feet of cable, but it is very reliable. What is nice about this particular model is that you get the half press, which then locks in the focus and the exposure on the camera, and then when you're ready, fully press to take the shot. You don't get that with the ML-L3. How that works is you press the button when you're ready. The camera will then immediately try to gain focus. If it gets focus, it fires a shot straight away. If it can't focus, it then does nothing. And but you don't get the half press with this. It works on one CR5 battery. You can't, when you press it, you can't see the infrared lights, and there is no way of knowing whether or not, or when your battery is getting low. You won't know until the thing stops working. So if you are thinking about purchasing one of these, it's worthwhile getting at least one extra battery and keep you going. As I say, this thing works line of sight, so when you do use it, you have to know where your infrared sensor is on your camera. On most Nikons, it tends to be just on the front, but not all. So you need to look that up in your manual. But on all the cameras that I've used, and that I mentioned previously, the sensor has always just been on the front. And if I show you my D7500, you'll just see up here next to my grubby finger, that's where the sensor is, and so when you are pointing it, that's where you're pointing it to fire the shot. Okay, so before we can use the ML-L3, we need to activate it within the menus in your camera, and there's a couple of menus you need to be aware of. So let's take a quick look at those. So if I grab my camera here, if I go first of all into menu and go to the custom settings menu, which is the pencil, and we need to come across and go into timers and AE lock. And if we go into that, we then want to come down. You may need to, if it's the first time doing it, you may need to scroll up or down to get to it, but you want C5, the remote on duration, ML-L3. Select that, and you've got an option of 4 different timings. I'm going to select 15 minutes, and that, press OK, and that basically means that the ML-L3 will remain active for up to 15 minutes or until it was last pressed. So once you've last used it, you've got 15 minutes. If you haven't used it by then, it will switch itself off, and then you'll have to go back into the menu settings and switch the ML-L3 back on. Also, if you switch your camera off and back on, then you'll have to activate the ML-L3 again, and I'll show you now how to do that. So that menu that we've just looked at, that just sets the time. You don't need to do that every time you're using the ML-L3. Just if you leave it on 15 minutes, for most people, that's fine. The other menu that you'll need to look at is if you come up to the photo shooting menu and scroll across, and you're looking for the remote control mode menu there. Now, what I'll do is for both these menus, I'll put notes as to where they are in the comments, save you hunting around for them. But this is the one that you need to activate each time you want to use the ML-L3. So if I click into that, now I've got 4 options there. You've got a 2-second delay, remote, which isn't long, but that's all you get, or you get an immediate activation. You also can use it for a remote mirror up. I've never used that, so I'm not going to go into that. Or you could switch the ML-L3 off, but it will do that itself after 15 anyway. So in most cases, the 2-second delay is what you want. So click OK to that. And now this camera is ready to go. And so it's very dark in this room, and I've got my camera settings to just give me a blank screen, but I will try and activate, see if I can take a shot and just get this in just to show that it is working. Okay, so it's come up. There's nothing to see because of my camera settings. I've cut out all ambient light, but sorry, if I just press the thing, you can see that it has actually taken the picture. So the thing works even in low light. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So 2 menus to be aware of. The first one is just to set the timing interval, set it to 15 minutes. You can forget about that. The second one is what you have to switch on every time. And if you may or may not, if I go back to the menu just to finish off very quickly, you might find it handy if you come to your menus, and if you've got your My Menu, if you've got a My Menu where you can add items to it, you could add the ML-L3 to that. And if you look over here, you can see that I've just added that. So it's much quicker for me to find that. And this is where I go to every time, rather than trying to remember where those where that menu was. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, so hope you found that useful. Couple of quid. I've been using them 20 years. Technology's never changed. It exists on all the modern DSLRs. Quite a bargain, I think. Yeah, so anyway, hope you found this useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for your time, and goodbye. Thank you.